Today on Seattle Refined, Cupid's arrow strikes the heart of Seattle.
And what is this going to be like on a warm summer Seattle day? It's going to be terrific.
I think it's going to be amazing.
Refined gets a VIP tour of the magical makeover at one of the city's most romantic spots. Plus, what's the magic potion in this love lab? We'll reveal the intoxicating secret. And
a lot of people ask us why Bremerton.
A top pastry chef leaves behind the five-star life to open up a Bremerton bakery that people can't stop raving about. Seattle Refined starts now.
Hey everybody, welcome to Seattle Refined. I'm Gord Swanton, and today I get to play Cupid on a special Valentine's Day edition of Refined. Seattle has tons of romantic spots for lovers to share a quiet dinner, maybe a glass of wine, or steal a kiss. And at the top of the list is the iconic Pike Place Market. The market is getting quite the facelift these days. Refined got a sneak peek at the sweeping views from this amazing makeover.
For the first time in 40 years, Pike Place Market is growing. A $74 million project expanding the market started back in 2011 and includes some major changes and much-needed upgrades, including 30,000 square feet of brand new public space.
Right now, when the visitor comes to the market, they look at the water and they want to be part of that. They want to go to it. I mean, we have an opportunity to create something absolutely phenomenal here in Seattle that will be one of the most beautiful waterfronts on the West Coast.
And according to the project's executive director, some of the best views you're going to find anywhere in the city.
And you're not kidding about the views. I mean, look at out here. You got the big wheel. You have the sound right here. You have ferries coming in. You have snow-capped mountains. Does it really get any better?
Yeah, we're really excited. I mean, you get not only the great views out to the sound, but you get great views back up into the built environment in the city, so you feel like you're really floating between the two.
So what do you got going on over here?
Yeah. So this is the new plaza that you'll be able to access right off the end of the Desmond Bridge. And what we're looking at is they're putting the finishing touches on a weather-protected plaza canopy. So they'll have glass garage doors that roll up and down on either side.
Yeah.
And so in inclement weather, our vendors who usually are having to struggle out on the slabs without any protection will be able to go in here for overflow space.
And it looks like you're preserving that charm of the market here with something like this.
Yeah, that quirky feel of the market. Open materials, open spaces, so you see the wood, you see the steel. That's the whole point here. And then lots of ways to get in and out.
And that was important. I mean, you got to preserve that history.
Yeah. One of the things we really wanted to do with this project was make sure that it matches the rest of the market. People were concerned that this building was going to be too modern. But as you and I walk through it today, you'll see that there's lots of weird little access points in and out, just like the market.
Our project will create a vast new terrace off of the Desmond Bridge. It'll be this tremendous vantage point. And then you can go down a stair to pick up the promenade that's connected to the overlook walking down to the waterfront. And it's all public space. It's for the community.
You know, it looks like there's a lot of work left, but you guys are so close to the grand opening.
Yeah, we are incredibly close. In fact, people will start moving into the housing at the end of February. We'll open up the public spaces and the garage to people in March. And then June 29th is the date we have for grand opening. That's when a majority of the commercial tenants will be done with their tenant improvements.
You guys are proud of this, aren't you?
Incredibly proud. I think a tremendous amount of commitment from the public, huge support from the market community, from the city, and an incredible gift to the citizens of Seattle.
It looks terrific.
Thank you.
If you want to learn more about the market makeover, check out the article on our website.
And how about this? Seattle just made Amazon.com's list of most romantic U.S. cities.
Seattle clocks in at number 14 in the annual list, which tracks sales of romance novels, relationship books, romantic comedy movies, and schmaltzy music and more. Surprise, surprise, Vancouver, Washington is apparently the 12th most romantic city. And topping the list is that notorious city of Lone Star Love, San Antonio, Texas. To see the rest of the list, check out our website. Nothing screams Valentine's Day like chocolate. And now for the first time, you can get a look inside Seattle Chocolate's Tukwila factory to see how the magic is made. Seattle Chocolate and J. Coco products are beloved by sweet lovers coast to coast. To learn how to book a tour, log on to SeattleRefined.com.
For years, Paris has had bragging rights as the capital city of baking. After all, when it comes to pastries and baguettes, no one does it quite like the French. But hold on a second. You don't have to book a flight to enjoy world-class baked goods right here in Western Washington. Refine's John Prentice discovered a saboteur with a spatula in Bremerton.
I just love this bakery. It's local, it's authentic, and it's passionate.
It's one of the best bites I've had in a long time.
Bremerton has hit the bakery jackpot with new bake shop Saboteur. It's run by pastry pro Matt Tinder and his fiancée Kate.
I start in the evening and work straight through the night.
Matt left high-class Michelin-starred restaurants in California to bring his talents to Bremerton.
A lot of people ask us why Bremerton, and I don't know if it's, you know, my personal opinion about if their tone is a little disparaging, or if they're, you know, they kind of ask it in a way that's like, you could have gone or should have gone. This town is awesome.
Good community. Needed a bakery after coming from so much high-end restaurant. It's a nice feeling to bring something that's needed.
We wanted to be close to Seattle. We looked at a few places in downtown Seattle, and we just figured, why bring sand to the beach when there's other communities that could benefit equally.
And the people of Bremerton, thank you. Matt may have left the five-star life, but he's still turning out five-star pastries.
I like do whatever I want. If I don't feel like doing something that day, if I'm doing something else, I just do it.
Doing everything the way we do it in really small batches with the best ingredients around.
I love the chocolate croissant.
Fabulous pastries that you can't just find anywhere.
My favorite's the ham and cheese croissant is really good. All our torts and quiches are really nice. And then classic things like scones, where you don't think a scone's gonna blow your mind, but then it does.
So I've been told that I can't leave here without trying something. What should I try?
Do you want to do sweet or savory?
I think something sweet.
Sweet? Okay, perfect. Banana Bostock.
Take my word for it. Matt and Kate have found sweet success in Bremerton.
Oh man, that's so worth the ferry ride. That is phenomenal.
It's busy, everyone's happy, customers are happy. I'm tired.
He gets less sleep now than he did when he was in restaurants. For sure.
John Prentice, Seattle Refined.
To learn more, log on to our website, seattlerefined.com. Seattle Refined is your one-stop shop for Valentine's Day. From eating out to last-minute gifts, our romance roundup is coming up. But first, before you pop that bottle, get ready to get schooled on fine wine.
Has some age on it, so we're starting to get some of those aging and developing aromas.
Students sip their way through Vino 101 at a new Northwest school. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Seattle Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. Well, some of you will probably toast Valentine's Day with a glass of Washington wine tonight. We are fortunate to live in one of the most diverse winemaking spots in the world. And while Eastern Washington may be the epicenter of our state's wine industry, there is a winemaking school right here in Seattle.
The Northwest Wine Academy is the first and only working and teaching winery of its kind.
The Northwest Wine Academy is a program in South Seattle College, which is in West Seattle. And we have 3 degrees that we offer. They're certificates, but we also give an AA degree in winemaking. So we have a winery. You can hear some of the noise in the background. We have a winery on the campus, and we teach students how to make wine. So that's one of the degrees.
Aging and developing aromas.
And it's just not winemaking. There are programs focused on wine marketing and sales and food and wine pairing.
There's so many different classes and avenues that you wouldn't even think. When you think about wine, there's only certain narrow things you can think of, but this place opens up your options and the way you think about wine.
I've worked in wine bars and I really like talking about things, but having a little bit more of a solid background in history and process and production, and a lot of that makes it easier to talk about, I think, in the long run. When you're trying to sell someone wine, people like a story. And if you have the good basis of knowledge, it's a lot more fun to engage with folks who are buying wine.
SO2, sulfite.
One thing we found out is how surprised some students are when they find out just how much is involved in making it to graduation.
They think, oh, this is going to be awesome. It'll be so much fun. We'll be tasting wine in class. And they do. But there's a lot of science behind it. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. And so once they get in, like my sensory evaluation class has a bunch of science. And that's just touching the surface. So once they get in and they see that, they decide, maybe I don't want to be a winemaker. You know, maybe I'll go the marketing path, or maybe I'll, you know, think about tourism and food and wine pairing.
Hey, red wine's like oxygen.
No matter what path you choose, there's no lack of hands-on experience.
We went to Italy this summer and got to go on sort of a 2-week study abroad program through Northern Italy. It was super fun to be taking information that we learned in wine history or wines of the world and then seeing it in a real world application and saying, well, because of this flood or that catastrophic event, like it deposited these rocks in this area and that's how it affected the wine, which is why you taste X, Y, Z. But to get to see it and touch it and stick your hands in the dirt was like full circle education. It was awesome. It was super cool.
For more information on the Northwest Wine Academy at South Seattle College, just head to our website, seattlerefined.com.
There's no better way to celebrate Valentine's Day than getting wined and dined at a romantic restaurant. Refined managing editor Britt Thorson has some recommendations and much more in her Valentine's Day web report.
Hey guys, I'm Britt Thorson, managing editor of SeattleRefined.com. Now you might be a little bit late to get reservations tonight for Valentine's Day dinner, but did you know, speaking of restaurants, that 7 restaurants in Washington State made Open Table's most romantic restaurant list of 2017. Now some you might know, like the Melting Pot in El Gaucho, and some you might not know, like this place in Arlington or another place in Issaquah, but I am not going to give it away. You have to check it out online at SeattleRefined.com, and while you're there, take a look at another article. This is for those singles out there. Washington is the best state to be a single person in for 2017. That's right, even though it's Valentine's Day, I gotta give those singles some love too. What do you think? Do you agree? I know some single people who I think would disagree with it being a good state, but hey, at least we beat Colorado and California. Either way, happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Check out everything we've got online at SeattleRefined.com.
Coming up on Refined.
The first piece of advice that I would give to you is when you're going into dating.
If you're sick of being single in Seattle, we've got some tips from a dating expert. That's next. Here at Seattle Refined, we never get tired of hearing from you. Like us on Facebook, tweet us your story ideas, or shoot us an email telling us what you want to see on the show. You can find our inbox at hello@seattlerefined.com. Seattle Refined will be right back.
Welcome back to Seattle Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. Well, not everyone has met their forever Valentine yet. And as most of us know, sometimes you gotta kiss a lot of frogs before you find the prince.
Last year, our refined friend Melissa agreed to let us get her ready for love at the annual Bachelor casting call. We got her a new outfit, tips on hair and makeup, and most important, a coaching session on how to date like a pro. That's where It's Just Lunch Seattle comes in. It's the #1 personalized matchmaking service in the world, and it's 100% offline, catering to busy professionals. They sent over one of their world-class experts to get Melissa ready for her love connection. They met up at Gordon Biersch.
I'm Sarah French, and I've been the executive matchmaker for It's Just Lunch Seattle for nearly 12 years. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of The Bachelor and so excited
So
for
am I,
you
yes.
and for Desiree and her fairy tale ending. But I do want to talk a little bit about you and obviously your
Okay.
reality as a dater. The first piece of advice that I would give to you is when you're going into dating, come up with 2 must-have items or deal breakers that you know you're
Okay.
really looking for in someone. And there doesn't really have to be more than that. It just can be
Right.
2 things that you know. So for example, you definitely want to try to have children. So
Okay.
when you're meeting with someone, if you're on date 3 or 4 and you're talking about this, make sure that's something that ultimately
Right.
comes up and you know you're on the same page. So the second thing that I would say for you is really you're writing your own story as a
Mhm.
dater. So it's important to stay positive, right?
Right.
So a common mistake that people make is they'll unknowingly be negative about things that are going on in their life or things from their past.
Right.
And so, for example, you're from Ohio, right? Okay, I'm from Indiana.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yay. So let's say you grew up in a really small town in the Midwest. What you should be doing on these dates is talking about what made that unique, what made that environment special, rather than saying things like, oh, I love Seattle, I know everybody here thinks the Midwest is so boring, but that's where I grew up.
Okay.
Okay, because really, it's a first impression that you're making on these dates, but these can be lasting impressions that you're making with these men. Okay. The third piece of advice that I would give to you, and this is so important, is to be patient and be selective. Okay, so this is a big decision, finding someone that you're going to have a long-term partnership with. So it doesn't always happen in the time frame that people want it to.
Right.
And so you have to be patient. Good things come to those who wait, right? And so really just look at every single date that you go on as an opportunity to learn more about yourself as a dater and what you're looking for. So even a date that we can consider a bad date or a date that goes differently than we'd hoped, take that and use it as a tool to learn more about what you're not looking for in someone or something that doesn't work for you.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
You're gonna be great.
Thank you.
Okay.
If you missed any of those dating tips, you can find them on our website. Just log on to SeattleRefined.com and search for It's Just Lunch. Coming up.
She's been asking me to renew our vows for the last 10 years, and I kept telling her no because I already married her. Why would I need to do it again?
Slow down, Casanova. Find out if America's most romantic city convinced this guy to take a second trip down the aisle. It's next. But first, check out a refined, shareable moment of the day.
Said by the power invested in me by the internet in the great state of Delta. I now pronounce you man and wife. I remember one specific time we had just finished up a meal on I think it was an overseas flight, and she's like, I love airplane food. And I'm like, you're the one.
Spring is right around the corner, and that means time to think about sprucing up your home. And there's no better place for remodeling, outdoor living, the latest technologies, and more than the Seattle Home Show. The event is the Northwest's largest consumer home show featuring hundreds of exhibits. The Seattle Home Show runs from February 18th to the 26th at CenturyLink Field Event Center.
Welcome back to Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. Well, as the song goes, love is lovelier the second time around. And if you don't believe us, ask the couples we met on our recent trip to Charleston, South Carolina, the most romantic city in America.
Our trip to Charleston really took the cake after witnessing 5 amazing couples reaffirm their love for one another. They were put up in a swanky hotel, the Mills House Wyndham Grand, where love is always in the air.
My colleagues always joke around and say that I'm the director of romance here.
The historic hotel looks like something out of a movie, and they know their weddings.
We have about 52 to 58 a year. It's quite a romantic place to be, yes. We are in a great location. If anyone wants to come from near or far, we are literally located right in historic downtown. We're steps away from some of the best restaurants in Charleston.
The Mills House was the perfect place for the vow renewal. Everything from the flowers to the cake were all set. The couples were also ready. Well, most of them.
She's been asking me to renew our vows for the last 10 years, and I kept telling her no because I already married her. Why would I need to do it again?
Jean Barth wasn't too sure about the whole thing.
Well, a couple weeks ago, she texted me and said, remember that contest I told you I entered? I said no. She goes, we want a trip to South Carolina. I said, oh, cool. And she goes, oh, but we have to renew our vows. I said, I'm not doing that.
But Gene was no match for Charleston's romantic energy. He had a big change of heart.
Yesterday, I got this clever idea that if I'm going to do this, I might as well do it right. She had no clue.
No.
Gene bought a ring and a suit and re-proposed to his wife.
Yes.
She's crying. I'm crying. I guess he still loves you.
Thank you.
Did it fit? Yeah. I did this in 2 hours.
Now, everyone was finally ready for the big moment.
For better or for worse.
For better or for worse.
Until death do us part.
Till death do us part.
I'd like to re-pronounce you. Man and wife, you may now kiss your bride. The vow renewal on Star 125.
Just more proof that Charleston really is the most romantic city in the country. If you've missed any of our adventures in Charleston, you can watch all of them by logging onto our website and searching for Refined Gets Romantic.
All right, happy Valentine's, everybody. I'm Gard Swanson. We'll see you next time right here on Seattle Refined.